morning guys, welcome to the Machamp Solo Run on the RetroBrown channel. We are nearly there. Nearly there. It's the last 3 runs to do, and it's some interesting choices really. Machamp is the final stage evolution line of the Machamp line. 505 base stat total, pure fighting type. Yeah, it's actually got really good stats to be fair. Our rival for today is going to be just a Machamp fan. Thank you for subscribing. Sorry that you are on the Machamp run instead of the Machamp run, but I hadn't seen you in any of the comments before then to put you as the Machamp rival. But yeah, either way, hope you appreciate that you are the Machamp rival here. So yeah, Machamp's base stats are actually pretty solid. It's got 90 HP, 130 attack, 80 defense, 85 special, which is weird, even though we don't get any special moves apart from Fire Blast to work with, and 55 base speed. Yeah, it's actually quite well-rounded in terms of base stats anyway. Its move pool, purely fighting type apart from Fire Blast. Like, there's literally no other point to be using special type moves on this Pokemon. But that's the whole point of it being a fighting type. It's supposed to be a physical attacker. So, you know what? I'm actually excited for this one. We get some pretty good moves to start off with as well. We get Karate Chop, Low Kick, and Leer. Now, Low Kick in itself is going to be super effective against Brock, so we can at least do great damage against him. And you know what? Apart from these random fights I'm doing right now, I'm actually going to try and go for minimum battles. But when we get to Cerulean, we might have to start going against a few more optional ones, just because Misty will be a bit of a difficult one, because even though we don't have the greatest of specials, like we've got a decent special, it's reason why it's 85 in this generation is because the special attack and defense hasn't split yet. So it also means that it has a high, whatever the highest stat actually was, that's what they actually get in Gen 1. At least when you look at Bulbapedia, that's what it looks like. So yeah, it's weird that it has an 85 special stat, but either way. Karate Chop and Low Kick are just going to get us through this early game very, very easily. We are going to go against some of the optional fights in Viridian Forest, just to get ourselves a little bit more experience, because the more that I was thinking about it, yeah, Misty is going to be a bit of a problem. Her Starmie is just going to be bulky, and we don't level up all too quickly, even though, to be fair, we're already at level 10 and we've only gone through a few optional fights. Most annoying thing though, we do get poisoned quite a lot in this attempt, so we had to keep going back to Viridian City, getting a few antidotes and also healing back up the Pokemon Center. But we are going to head straight to Brock after this. Now looking at the moveset, yes, we do get quite a lot of fighting type moves. We're probably not going to rely on them all too much. We're going to be looking at those ground type moves and the normal type moves, just because the ground type moves are probably the best in this generation, so we're definitely going to need them later on. Let's see how we do against Brock, the rock hard gym trainer. So yeah, Low Kick is a 2-shot, and his Onix goes for Bide, and we whiff it. We missed with Low Kick. Oh, 90% accuracy, you've screwed me over, and Bide actually gets to unleash its power. Really annoying, but that is just pure RNG why we didn't beat Brock there on the first attempt, and that's really annoying to see. I really wanted to get a Deathless run again before the end, but apparently it's not going to happen on this video. We beat Brock pretty comfortably and head throughout Mount Moon. Now there's a move we want to pick up here, and that of course is going to be Mega Punch. Just gives us a little bit more variation of what we can actually use. And of course, when Karate Chop's only got 50 base power, yes, it does have high critical hit chance. Mega Punch is still technically a little bit stronger, so it's worth using Mega Punch just for that little bit more power. But Karate Chop does have 100% accuracy, so what do I weigh up more? Personally, you guys know me with this channel by now, I prefer 100% accurate moves. We'll probably be going with Karate Chop a bit more. Anyway, that brings us into Cerulean City, and of course the next gym challenge. Now, with the both of them using water type moves, we can expect a Bubble Beam or two. What we're actually more worried about right now is this Goldeen trainer right before Misty, because it does have the move Peck, and it has Supersonic as well. So because of that, we had to lose a little bit more time by going back to the Pokemon Center, heal back up, and then we could actually challenge Misty for real. Here we go, Misty versus Machamp. Water is doing decent damage against us, but it's the Starmie that we really need to worry about, because Karate Chop, we're hoping for crits, but it's still not doing all too much. If a Bubble Beam from this range leaves us on 3 HP. We managed to do it before the level cap, and I'm happy about that. But level 20 to get to this point in the game, yeah, it's I thought we'd be a little, maybe at level 16, 17, but it just didn't really work out that way. Oh, you can also pick up a rare candy there, by the way, if you never saw it before. Let's see how we do against the rival on Nugget Bridge. Now, Nugget Bridge rival, the biggest threat on his team is usually that Pidgeotto with Sand Attack. The Abra has got no attacking moves, so it's a free fight. Rattata's got pretty bad defenses, and you might be wondering why have we given Charmander for the rival on the very last fight. Pretty much, I mean, to be fair, the only Pokemon we could have gone against that would have like the best defenses against us and we wouldn't have any super effective moves would be the Squirtle. I don't really know why I went with the Charmander here, if I'm being honest. I mean, we can get Rock Slide, we probably are going to use that, but we also are going to pick up Body Slam as well. Now, to be fair, Charmander, we don't really use the rival with Charmander all too much, so it's interesting to see every now and then. The SSN has a few treasures we can pick up. We can pick up Rest, Body Slam, of course, and of course we need to go and get cut from the captain after beating the rival. Now, because of all the mandatory fights, we actually have gone against quite a few optional fights as well. We're up at level 27, so massively over level for this point in the game, but that is going to round out pretty soon. Once we picked up HMO 1, we can head over to Vermilion Gym and take on Lieutenant Surge, the electric type trainer, who, to be fair, not going to be too much of a problem for us as well. Because we also picked up the TM for Dig, this fight is a complete whitewash for him. Or we can just use Body Slam because his Pokemon are very defensively weak. We do go for a Dig against the Raichu just to ensure the one-hit KO, and we pick up the Thunderbolt TM, which we cannot learn, unfortunately. That brings us all the way to Rock Tunnel, where the first problem we encountered was going to be the Exploding Hiker, of course. Now, because we do have a low base speed, but not as low as their Pokemon, this is the reason why I kind of leveled up here. It's because I didn't want to be outsped by the Exploding Hiker and take loads of self-destructs to the face. Plus, all the fights are going to start rounding up to the level we're at pretty soon. Lavender Tower rival fight, the Gyarados can tank a Body Slam even though we're 9 levels above it, and the fact that we've got ridiculous attack, it can still tank a Body Slam, and that's worrying. So we need to go over to Celadon, we need to pick up some new moves. And of course the big move that I want to go and get over there is going to be Rock Slide, because it's the best rock type move in the game, even though it's only got 90% accuracy, but 75 power and a flinch chance, you can't go wrong with that. You need to get the Soda Pop from the machine and give it to the girl, and that way you get the Rock Slide TM. I forgot that I didn't really need Ice Beam here. I picked it up as going to be the fresh water that I would open up Saffron with, but either way. We've got a good amount of moves on our moveset now, and we can go against the Celadon gym leader, Erica. That, of course, once we beat down our accomplice there. So Erica is going to start off with a Victory Bell, and wow, we got put to sleep straight away. Oh my god, Razor Leaf does tons of damage, and now she's going for the Rap Strats. They must really be worried about this Machamp if they're going for the Rap Strats. And we take a loss. I don't even know if that's bad RNG. Okay, this time, second attempt, they go for Razor Leaf and we get a crit to start off with. That's always perfect to see. The Tangler is the worst Pokemon on her team because she didn't think about it and give it actual moves. And then 2 Body Slams takes down the Vileplume, so when she doesn't employ the cheesy strats, this is actually kind of an easy gym for a Machamp. And that brings us down to the Giovanni fight in the Rocket Game Corner. We spin around on all the tiles, we head down, and of course we need to go and pick up the Lift Key. The Lift Key, I hate having to deviate off from the path to go and do this. I'd rather just go and fight Giovanni on his own. But I also find it weird as well that you beat that guy and then he just randomly goes, "Oh no, I've dropped the Lift Key, I'm not going to go pick it back up, and this small child's now taking it from me, and I'm just going to stand here and do nothing." Like, imagine that situation in real life. Like, if you're an adult facing down an 11-year-old kid and you drop the key and then go, "Oh no, it's there," you wouldn't just stop there and just let him pick it up. You would actually stop them. Like, you just put your hand out on the head and just be like, "No, you can stay there. We're not giving you this." Oh, this is a weird day of recording this, really. I'm so close to the end now that I I can taste the fact that I can finally start doing other challenges instead of solo runs for a little bit. I definitely will keep doing solo runs on this channel, but of course as we're getting towards the month of December, when I usually do a video per day, I'm going to focus quite a lot on monotype runs and challenge runs throughout the month of December, giving you something to work up to the end of the year, because you guys enjoy some videos where you don't have to think, you can just zone out for a bit. That's all I hope my channel can do for you guys. Let's bring it back to the video though. In Silphcore we can pick up the TM for Earthquake, and we're not going to get rid of Dig. Oh wait, we are going to get rid of Dig. Yeah. We're going to use the Carbos as well because we need some more speed to deal with the later fights in the game. But Earthquake over Dig is definitely a good move, because Dig is a 2-turn move, and even though it's 100 power in this generation, if you spread over 2 turns, that's essentially 50 power per turn, whereas in 2 turns of Earthquake, you can deal out 200 damage, right? If that works out right. I don't know, my maths is not great today. Once we've beat the rival, we got the keycard, we can head over to Silphcore rival and see how we do against Machamp fanboy here. Let's see how we do. The Pidgeot is out first, and of course it goes for wing attacks and then a potion. I always forget that the rival has a potion in these fights, but they base their item usage off what they had in the original fight for a lot of the repeat rival fights. It's very weird, but that's Gen 1 coding for you. And we get one shot by Alakazam. That is pretty much expected. So we're going to go down to Fuchsia City instead. I think we're going to need more levels because that Alakazam is scary, and I don't think we've got anything to deal with right now, but we've got enough to deal with Koga on our moveset. So let's go sweep through his gym. Of course, we're going to spam Earthquake, one-shot his Coffin. Can we one-shot the Muck? No, we can't. Even with our ridiculous attack stat, we still can't one-shot the Muck at the same level. But Muck does have great defenses, so I'm not too surprised at that in some sense. And even the Weezing can tank an Earthquake, so maybe I need to go and get some protein vitamins. We're really not outputting the damage that I thought we would be. In the Safari Zone, of course, you can find a protein right here, and I'm slapping that straight into Machamp, just injecting it straight into his arm. Because they are technically drugs, kids. Don't use drugs. Anyway. We picked up the Gold Teeth, we picked up HMO Free Surf. We could go over to Blaine if we really wanted to right now, and you know what? That might be a good choice to do. With Earthquake on our moveset, it'd actually be worth our time to actually go and get the 7th badge over there, and then route our way back to Silphcore and try and beat Silphcore a little bit later on once we've got more levels. I mean, I'll give it another try in Silphcore first, see if those levels we've attained in Fuchsia City make a difference. And we're not taking all too much damage from the Pidgeot this time round. Execute is going to go down to 2 body slams unless it sets up Reflect, of course. That's going to be annoying because we need to deal out a lot of damage. Rock Slide nearly one-shots the Gyarados, and it does get a Hydro Pump in. Oh man, the Alakazam used Confusion, and even that's one-shotting us from there. Okay, so we need to get through to the Alakazam with as much HP as possible, and pretty much just hope for a Confusion. Otherwise, we might have to level up a lot more to get through this fight. Oh man, Rock Slide is still not a one-shot on that Gyarados. That is really a problem. Thankfully, Alakazam did go for Confusion this time around instead of Psybeam, and Rock Slide can one-shot the Charizard because it's 4 times weak to Rock. We managed to beat him here, and to be fair, Giovanni's not going to be too much of a problem for a Machamp, even with Poison types on his team. We've got everything we need to make this work. Earthquake takes out the Nidorino in 1. Kangaskhan is going to get taken down by Low Kick. Critical hit as well. You love to see it. Same on the Rhyhorn, but it's not a one-shot. And then the final Nidoqueen is going to go down to an Earthquake or 2. Just 1 it seems, and we're at level 43 coming out of Silphcore, which is actually the exact same level as Sabrina's gym. So, considering we won't be able to outspeed Alakazam, we are heading down to Cinnabar. We need to go in the Pokemon Mansion, find that secret key, and unlock Blaine's gym. A little bit annoying, but at least you can get through Burnt Tower in literally about a minute of game time if you're going at 4 times speed. And there's no mandatory fights, unless, oh my god, 2 videos in a row I've walked into this guy. Oh, that's annoying. We're going to lose some more time because of that. I really want to get a good time with Machamp here, make it the best fighting type that we've done a run with. We pick up another Carbos because we need to be speedier. And of course, yeah, you head down here, unlock this, pick up Blizzard if you can learn it. and then you're going to progress through all of these. You know what, might as well do another extra fight here. I really don't think we're going to outspeed that Alakazam, so let's at least get to level 44 before heading into Blaine's gym. Let's go flip this switch, go pick up the rare candies because we're going to need them. There's about 13 rare candies that you can pick up throughout Kanto. I don't usually go around and pick them all up if I'm being honest. And this is also where I realised that I had also got rid of the TM for Dig. So I'm wasting a bit more time here by having to manually go through all of this and then get back out. And of course I get stuck on the stairs here because I'm a bit of an... When you're doing this at 4x speed, you make a lot of mistakes. Anyway, out now we're at the Burnt Mansion. Let's try Blaine. Blaine, he doesn't have the most defensively bulky Pokemon. Most of them are going to go down to an Earthquake pretty quickly. Stomp does decent damage on us. And then Arcanine's Outlast. Fire Blast does a lot of damage. Worst thing that can happen here... the second worst thing that can happen here, we can get burned. The first worst thing that can happen, we get hit by Fire Blast twice. You might be wondering, why am I not using Rock Slide? Well, all of his Pokemon are weak to ground as well, so, and considering it's a little bit more powerful than Rock Slide, yeah, I'm going to be using Earthquake throughout this entire fight. We finally beat Blaine at level 47, and we progress all the way back to Saffron City to take on the most dreaded challenge for a Machamp. We are going in as the Fighting Dojo Master here. And, you know, screw that. I'm actually going to go in as the Fighting Dojo Master. Let's beat the actual Master and go in as the reigning champ. He's not going to be a problem for us. Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee, both going to go down pretty quickly to Earthquakes. We take his Black Belt, and we decide to go in and reclaim Saffron to be a fighting gym town. Sabrina's here, and she looks like a little scared girl, but that's just me when I'm going up against Psychic types as a Machamp. Earthquake is super effective on Venomoth, even though technically it shouldn't be because Bug type is resistant to ground. So I think that's a coding error of why it's also saying that. It does it when it does it on other Pokemon. Like, I'm pretty sure some moves you use on Gyarados, like grass type moves, sometimes they say they're super effective when they're actually not. This time around we get very lucky because she used a Psywave. She must have felt sorry for us, the fact that she's taken over our town as the Fighting Dojo. Like, it's the second gym technically in Saffron. She's taken over as the main gym. Oh, come on, fly. This is what I mean by I make a lot of mistakes when I'm going so fast through these runs. That just leaves one gym left, and that of course is going to be Giovanni, who we've not lost once to in this entire run. Is that going to be the exact same here? Well, if I make sure that I'm at least going against his gym trainers, getting a few more levels up, yeah, we should be fine against this next guy. He should not be a problem whatsoever. Trainers in his gym are actually pretty good to get some experience from. Not the ones that have the likes of Machamp, but when you're going against the Black Belts with Machamp, you get about 1300 to 1400 experience per fight. And that's actually pretty valuable. So Giovanni here with his Rhyhorn is going to go down straight away to an Earthquake. Dugtrio's next, and in this generation it looks like Earthquake doesn't hit the Pokemon underground. It's only the move Swift that can hit regardless of whether you're flying in the air or down under the ground. So yeah, Earthquake doesn't hit you in this generation, it seems, when you're using Dig. Finally we take him down with a final Earthquake at level 55. You might be wondering why you over-leveling so much for this point in the game. Remember what fight's right up next, of course. It's going to be another rival fight, and this rival fight is a lot more difficult because of his Alakazam. This time his Alakazam has Psychic. So yeah, we're going to be kind of screwed. Let's see how we do anyway. So we're going into this level 55, we have not used any of our rare candies yet, and finally Rock Slide is one-shotting that Pidgeot. It's one-shotting the Rhyhorn with Earthquake as well, and annoyingly we get seeded by the bloody Execute. Body Slam is not a one-shot on Gyarados, we've got no healing recovery moves, and of course Alakazam sets up Leech Seed of all things. I mean Reflect. Thankfully though, he doesn't use any other moves. Slash does big damage on us, but we've managed to get a Rock Slide in for the win. We've beat Machamp for the first time and progress onto the Pokemon League. Now the Pokemon League is going to be a very mixed bag. We do have moves that can take out every single Pokemon, and super effectively at that rate. Big problem is going to be the start. We are not very specially good. We do take a lot of damage from special attacks, and we are not fast, which is always a big problem when you go against the ice trainer Lorelei. She's a nightmare. Another thing which makes this awkward, all of the Pokemon bar the Jinx are really bulky Pokemon. It's a good thing we have Rock Slide on our moveset, because that means that we can actually deal out super effective damage on the majority of our ice types. Oh, even nearly one-shot into Cloyster, who's got very good defenses. That's impressive. Body Slam's going to be about a free shot on the Slowbro, but because we're a fighting type, it's just going to go for Amnesia. Ice Punch does about a quarter of our damage, and then Lapras comes out, and wow, we're actually getting a first time win against Lorelei, and under level 60, that's quite impressive. Bruno, of course, he thinks he's the best fighting type trainer in this region. move aside, bitch. I am going to be the best fighting type trainer in this region. All of his Pokemon just... his team is just awful. Apart, you know what? I will give his Machamp and his Hitmonlee its due. They can both hit hard. They've got decent moves. But it's just his AI, I think, that makes Bruno really, really bad. We beat him first time, but I was actually really surprised at how much damage we took from the Hitmonlee. Agatha, again, is a bit of a mixed bag. Straight away we got put to sleep. She switched into Golbat. We get confused. And we've had every single... we've had everything go wrong right at the start here. And then thankfully the Golbat decides to use Haze. In Generation 1, Haze is an interesting move. It can actually get rid of all status effects. Yeah, really weird that it can, when usually it's only to remove any stat changes instead of status effects. But in Generation 1 it works very weird. We hit ourselves a confusion, we take down the Haunter with Earthquake, but then Arbok comes in with a bite and takes us down. So there's our first loss of the league. Not surprised it came to Agatha because she does have Psychic type moves on her moveset. Granted, it's Dream Eater, so we don't want to be put to sleep, but still, powerful Psychic type moves. We managed to take down... oh man, she switched into a Ghost type Pokemon as we were using a normal type move. It's like she's reading our minds there. We managed to take down the Golbat after hitting ourselves a confusion. Brings in the Arbok, and this time a bite does come out, but we then get an Earthquake in for the win. And then that finally brings in the final Gengar. If she'd gone for Hypnosis, this probably would have been a loss. But she went for Nightshade, we had enough HP to deal with, and we move on to Lance. Now Lance, I would say, is always a flying type trainer, even though he doesn't have any flying type moves, but he's got pretty much a full team flying type Pokemon. Yeah, he's a weird trainer, I would say, Lance. Most of his Pokemon, though, really easy to take down with a Machamp. They're not going to use anything really but their physical type moves. Takedown's not doing all too much damage to us. And then Dragonite comes out, and Rock Slide is super effective because it is of Dragon Flying. And we take him down pretty comfortably, leading us on to the final challenge for Machamp before it gets the belt. Blue, or Machamp fanboy here. We go for a Rock Slide on Pidgeot, and it's not a one-shot here. Rock Slide gets mirror moved. You always find that funny to see. And strange again, the Alakazam again goes for Reflect. Then goes for Psybeam and Psychic, and we take a loss. We need to outspeed it. We decide to use a few little rare candies there, go up to level 64. Yes, that does mean we won't get into higher echelons of the ranking system, but we're definitely going to need it. We've also got rid of one of our moves for Rest, just because we needed some way to heal our HP, and Rest is literally the only move we had to be able to do that. Unless we decided to mimic Recover, but I didn't want to risk it against the Alakazam. The Executor goes down, we move into Gyarados, where Rock Slide is still not one-shotting. That is so frustrating. It finally brings in Charizard, and he locks himself into Rage, giving us the win. Literally handing it to us on a plate there. He just saw Rock Slide and was like, nah, you can have it. And there we go, Machamp has completed the league on its own, like we all expected. Level 65 though, pretty high. But at 3 hours 22 minutes, that's pretty quick. I think it still doesn't outpace Hitmonlee. Maybe. And Primeape's up there as well. Primeape is a very fast Pokemon. And of course, Poliwrath is actually in the SS tier as the only fighting type Pokemon up there. Okay, we've got 2 choices left. Who is going to be the second from last solo run on the Kanto Run Solo playlists? It's going to be Moltres. I don't think you guys realise how much I have not wanted to do this run. Moltres is just god-awful. It is a really god-awful Pokemon. And I will show you that in the very next video. If you got to this point in the video, guys, please smash that like and subscribe, you legends. And we'll see you next week for the second to last run on this channel for solo running. Take care.